Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 146 on the Appalachian Trail. There's my bag down there. We're taking a break. We're already a couple miles in. I have to say, New Hampshire is beating the hell out of me like it does many hikers. It's rough. It's definitely the hardest terrain yet I've done on the trail. But with that also comes some of the most beautiful sights on the trail. Yesterday spent a long time up on Franconia Ridge. It's not that long. It's only like 4.5 miles, but I enjoyed every minute of it. Took a lot of time to myself, just sitting on the cliffs, different cliffs. There's different mountains. There's like 3 mountains you climbed over. Plus I hit up an extra 4th one, Mount Liberty. Absolutely just gorgeous. I took so many pictures and videos. I'm probably gonna have to make 2 separate videos of it, which is fine. That was one of my all-time spots I wanted to hit if I made it this far. So I was very happy. I had a great day up there. Beautiful day. Wasn't hot, a little windy, a little cool. It's a little chilly this morning. So for the bad news, we have a cold front coming through starting tonight. So the weather's going to get really bad. There's one other mountain for me to climb. It's really steep. There is some side trails, some blue blazes. So I'm going to be looking at some of the blue blazes to possibly go around them just to get to a lower elevation. I'm going to try to make it to the AMC hut, the Highlands hut. Or it's not a hut, it's just the Highland Center. And you can actually stay there if you want. They have bunks. So my goal is to be close to it tonight so I can tent. And then tomorrow when it's really rainy, I can get there pretty early and I can get a bunk there if I need. So trying to figure it out. But I am going to probably jump on some of the blue blazes to make it a little bit easier on me because these downhills have been brutal. The uphills have been rough. It's just all big rocks and boulder climbing, just straight up. You're going from anywhere, like this next one is like 3,000 foot elevation gain, and there's not really much for views. So anyway, that's what we're looking at today. Last night I made it to one of the shelters. It really sucks that you have to pay to stay at a shelter. It was a nice shelter at least, but it just sucks you have to pay, Just it is what it is. There was only a few of us in there. 3 of us, 4 or 5 of us were through hikers. I think 2 of them were through hikers. I'm not sure. I know the other ones were. And then one, she was just out for the weekend. She was really nice. I talked to her for a while. Yeah, so it's been beautiful, guys, but it is exhausting. It has been kicking my butt. So I'll definitely be looking forward to when I get a day off. I'm glad I didn't take as many days off coming up because I am going to definitely need one soon, probably in Gorham. I'm going to try to make it a Nero day, but I might end up taking a 0 there. I don't know. We'll see. Because I need to catch up on videos too. I haven't had a chance to really do that with my reception. So anyway, we'll see. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know my yesterday was amazing. Absolutely. One for the record books. Dream, definitely one of my goals and dreams come true. To be able to hike on Franconia Ridge and see the amazing views. I'm content. I'm happy. So I'm tired. I'm extremely tired. But, I'm happy. So anyway, guys, have a great Sunday. Hope everyone stays safe. And we'll catch you later. Well, this is a trail. We gotta go way down there. Yeah. Fun stuff. Good morning. Not sure if you guys can hear that sound in the background. Sounds almost like wind or rain. That is a fresh flowing stream. I feel like I haven't seen one in a while. Not of that nature and that power. So we are on that side trail, a little blue blaze. So it's nice to know there is water. I've got enough for right now, but just the sheer fact that there's a good water source right here, it's good to know. Might even get a view of it coming up. There it is. There's somebody down there. That's a high quality H2O. There's nice little pools. It's a little too chilly still. I'm sure that water is ice freaking cold. So, yeah. So as you can see, the trail's it's still the trail. It ain't changed a whole lot. It has been a little bit easier on this trail once I got down a little bit. So, anyway. All right, guys. I'll catch you in a bit. This is the best water source I've seen in 3 days. All the rest have been little drips. It took me 10 minutes last night to fill up my 2-liter Sea-Knock bag. That would have it filled up in probably under a minute. Yeah, definitely better water down here. That's for sure. I think this is the Gale River, if I'm not mistaken, because that's the trail we're on. Or wait, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm terrible with names. I was telling a guy that I met today, or I've met him a couple times. His name is Poles. He's the thru hiker. I met him first at the hostel that I went to. What was that? Tuesday? I think Tuesday. Yeah. Maybe Monday. I don't remember. See? It's hard for me to remember those little things. But anyway, I met him there and I just ran into him last night. So, but I told him, I was like, sorry, I'm terrible with names. So I hear it a couple times. But it's how it is out here. You'll run into people you don't know, and I think he had flipped up. So I've met a few people that's the case. They flipped up. A lot of them, some of them skipped from Pennsylvania up because they were worried about the weather and all. So that's why I'm seeing a lot of newer hikers. Obviously, I'm not seeing very many hikers at all that are thru hikers. Whether they are behind me, I know there's a decent group behind me. Obviously, there's some in front of me, but it's definitely thinned out. Quite a few have jumped off. Sometimes it's crazy. I was talking to my mom. She's watched a few that basically left. They quit in the whites. So that goes to tell you, when you hike 1,800 miles and you hit this terrain, it's a whole different ball game. So, all right, guys, we're gonna keep on this climb. I still got at least 3 miles on this trail till I get down closer to a road or another trail that I can cut through to get to over closer to that Highland Center. So anyway, I'll catch you later. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to show you this beautiful forest walk. Finally a little bit of an easier path to hike. Because I tell you what, it has been just rough and brutal on my knees and my legs. I did take a nasty little spill yesterday. Scraped up my leg some, and I had a stick that got me right in the ankle. It's actually really sore, but I thought maybe this morning I noticed it, and I thought maybe I got bit by a tick. But it was still part of the branch got in there somehow. Went right through my sock, right on my ankle. So at least I'm pretty sure it wasn't a tick, but I guess we'll find out. If I start feeling bad, then obviously I'll go get checked out. But I don't think it was. I didn't see a tick, so I'm pretty good about checking myself. Anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful little forest walk. Little up and down, but nothing like what we have been through. I just ran into some of the volunteer workers for the huts. They're heading up the mountain, and they were telling me that I was telling them, how they were asking me questions and, about my hike and all. And they were asking me what I thought about this section and that section. They said, yeah, they're like, you're going through the most brutal parts, especially the mountain I had to climb. A couple of them yesterday. They said that's some of the harder ones on the trail besides Mount Washington. So anyway, we are, it was nice talking to them, getting a little insight. I gave them a heads up, let them know that some of the areas are really lacking on water. So, I know there's definitely concern about that, especially for other hikers coming through, because it is definitely lacking up there for a long section. So, but, you're high up and you're on a ridge. So, anyway, making our way down to this trailhead, and then there is a separate trail I can take that I think will get me a little closer to the AMC Highland Center. But there's also, I could road walk some of it to there. Either way, you're gonna have to road walk some to it, or get a hitch. So they told me it should be pretty easy to get a hitch. I've heard that before though, and it's not always easy. But they did say there's a nice little diner right up here. Once I get a little past the trailhead, if I do start the road walk, there's a gas station. They told me a bunch of different little hotels if I really needed one. A lot of little mom and pop places, and then there's actual resorts as you get closer to the Highland Center. I was telling my parents last night, I looked at them yesterday when I was up at top. I was like, oh, look, there's a hotel right over there. And they're like $300 to $450 a night for these fancy places. I was like, oh, no, thank you. Cannot afford that. It's a little too bougie for me. So, and I think the reason they're like that is because it's those resorts are very close to the COG. And the COG, for those who don't know, is a train that you can take to ride up to the top of Mount Washington. It's really cool. It's not cheap, but it's really cool. And they actually say, I've heard some people say different things. Some people have rode the COG up and hiked it down. Some people have hiked up and rode the COG down. I don't see riding the COG back down as beneficiary, because it would put you on the opposite side of the mountain of where you're going. So then you would still have to find a way back around. So it just doesn't really work out. I have contemplated riding it up, but I don't know. We'll see. It's just, right now I'm just so worn out. These mountains have kicked my butt big time. So we'll see as we get closer. We got another day before we have to figure out our game plan. I'm just worried, one, with the terrain, and two, with Mount Washington. It's, one of the more dangerous hikes. A lot of people end up having to get rescued up there. Quite a few people have died because they've gotten off trail or lost the trail, and the weather is so extreme. There's a specific weather station that's on top of the mountain, and I've been monitoring it when I have service. And I know, like yesterday, for instance, or the day before, even at noontime, the high on the mountain at the summit was 45 degrees with 35-mile-an-hour winds. So it is the highest recorded wind speed in the world, is on top of Mount Washington at over 200 miles an hour. So again, it's we have this cold front moving through, and I just have to really pay attention to the weather and make smart choices. So anyway, guys, that's kind of what we're working with. Like I said, I never thought I would have to do so much planning until I got up here to the Whites and realized that not only do you have to plan, but you have to bring backup plans, because you're not going to be doing the mileage you thought. So there's a nice little river flowing pretty well. It's pretty nice. We're just following the water. So anyway, guys, we'll catch up with you here in a little bit. All right, see ya. So, just came and got passed by a worker from one of the huts. And as you see, they have a framed wooden type backpack, and that's what they use to carry all the food up to the hut. Now, where she came from, you're talking a good 5, maybe 6 miles, at least 5.5. That's insane. You really got to be dedicated to do that. There ain't no way. Not with this terrain. I mean, this walk hadn't been bad, but to get up to the hut, she a bad woman. Because there ain't no way I could do it. So, figured I'd show you guys. You see she's hauling butt. She's probably ready to get off the mountain. Alright, guys, we'll see you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we have made it to the AMC Highland Center. Right here is the bunkhouse. That is where I am going to be staying tonight. You can see it is quite cloudy and dark. I started getting rained on up in the mountains, and it's pretty windy and a little chilly. Not too bad right this second, but up higher it was. I might be staying in that because the manager said something about come back and see him at 5, and he's gonna see about upgrading me into the big house, so I'll be with all the bougie guests. So if not, it's fine. You really can't beat the price. It was like $60 plus tax, but that includes, you get a bunk, obviously there's a shower room, but it includes all you can eat dinner and breakfast. So, and dinner tonight is lasagna and stuffed shells with some other stuff. So, looking forward to that. Beautiful view of the mountains. We came down out of there, more like over there. Kind of a windy path down, and then ended up, taking a side trail to get here. So, not sure what this building is. Haven't really walked around a whole lot. Basically checked in, took a shower. It felt so good. I didn't realize how rough my body feels right now until I took that shower and sat down for a second. Definitely feeling the pain. So, this is just something where they're showing they've planted a bunch of trees. That's cool. Definitely a beautiful view here. I mean, you're surrounded by the mountains. I think back over that way is, somewhere back over that way is Mount Washington. You couldn't even see the peak earlier. It was just completely covered in the clouds. There's a little train depot over there. I'm not really sure where that goes. I might have to walk over there and check it out, figure out what that's about. This is a little dining area. There's basically like cafeteria and dining room in there. And then I guess some of these are bunks too. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what the upgrade is, except just to be in the big house. Basically have a bunk room to yourself. I don't know. That's pretty much what it looks like. So, and then they have some type of soiree going on tonight. Free hors d'oeuvres and beer and wine. So, anyway, guys, I'm just gonna check things out here, and then I'll be back in a little bit. Good evening, everyone. As you can see, the clouds are definitely rolling in. I am glad that we were able to get out of the mountains in time, because I'm sure it is wet up there. It'll be chilly. We are at the AMC Highland Center. So, awesome little note. I got upgraded. That's the bunk room. That's where I was. But I got upgraded big dog status to right there. I'm actually in the lodge. So that's pretty awesome. And I'm there for the 2 nights. I'm here for tomorrow too, because tomorrow it's scheduled to rain all day. So tomorrow is when I was going to be pushing towards Mount Washington. And when I went by it today, I could see it, and it was completely overcast. You couldn't even see the top of the mountain from where we were at because of the clouds. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. This is a cold front. The bad news is Mount Washington tomorrow is going to be or on Tuesday when I go up, the top of it, it's scheduled to be like 30 degrees up there. So it's going to be super cold, super windy. But, take our goods with our bads, right, guys? So, anyway, yeah. So we are actually going to go this building right here to the right. That is where you go and you can eat dinner. So we're going to be going there to get dinner soon. There was a line, so I didn't want to go in just yet. But yeah, that's where we'll be heading. That is a scenic train station over there. You actually can get the train. It does a little scenic route. I heard it was pretty cool. I don't know how much it is. But I might go down and check out. They have a gift shop and stuff like that. So I might take a walk down there depending on the weather tomorrow. Tonight I'm not going down there. So yeah, I got upgraded to a pretty cool room. It's basically, I'll take a video of it or a picture. It's basically a queen size bed with a bunk bed also in it. No TV, but that's okay. We don't need TV. So I'm gonna work on some videos tonight and just try to relax. Take another hot shower. Like, my body has just definitely been beat up. Like I said, I told my mom I had taken a nasty spill yesterday on this really steep decline. Kind of got wedged in between some rocks. It was rough. I got a big bruise on my side, on my hip, and yeah. So it happens, but definitely didn't want to do this in the rain in this kind of weather. So I'm glad I was able to get out when I was. So anyway, guys, just wanted to give a quick update, show you how it's getting kind of nasty out. It's definitely windy out. Temperature is definitely dropping already. So we are glad to be indoors tonight. Anyway, I will catch up with you guys in a bit. See you.